And we said when we talked again about Marty Supreme, we said that we would circle back about Timothée Chalamet and his comments about ballet and the opera.
Right.
So apparently he did a town hall event with Matthew McConaughey. It was hosted by Variety, and they talked about different things in the film industry and its impact. They talked about movie theaters and whether the act of going to a movie theater is dying or not, and just a bunch of different things affecting the film industry.
Mm.
So I will play the clip that has everyone in an uproar. Yeah, I'm just gonna play it so we can hear what this.
I admire people, and I've done it myself, to go on a talk show and go, hey, we got to keep movie theaters alive. We got to keep this genre alive. And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. All respect to the ballet and opera people out there. I just lost 14 cents in viewership.
Chalamet made those comments in a CNN.
So, since this has happened,
Uh-huh.
many people have had big reactions to his comments, his jokes, his note that somehow the ballet and the opera people aren't really attending. Now, I don't know what those numbers look like. Or
Mhm.
rather, he said people don't care about it.
Right.
What I can say though is that people are very much so still going to the ballet and still going to the opera.
Yes.
Um, I mean, both of those things are very big in New York City, at least. So people are definitely attending these types of events.
Right.
And yeah, I want to find, I mean, let me know what your thoughts are, but I'm going to find some of the comments that People Magazine shared from different places.
I think who cares? That's what I think. I think if he thinks no one's going, then he can think whatever. I think what's more important, and maybe I mean when we hear the reactions, maybe we'll see what people say, but I think if he feels like it's not worth his time and it's not something he wants to participate in, that's okay. I don't think that that's a bad thing. And if he's being pitched that way, right? If he's being pitched with the verbiage of quote, we need to keep this thing alive,
Yeah.
then I can see him not wanting to participate. Listen, look at this kid's career. And I say kid, but he's 30. He's not, I just looked up his age. He's 30.
Well, it's okay to say kid, and the reason I say that is because apparently no one under 30 or 30 and under ever wins an Oscar for for best actor, and he's nominated for best actor. So I think it's appropriate here. I don't think the industry yet looks at him as an older guy. So for whatever that's
Oh,
worth.
well, I don't think he's a kid, but I hear what you're saying. What I was going to say is he's not a kid.
No.
And look at his career. In the last couple of years, Timothy has starred as the lead role in mad movies. He's a Hollywood darling. He's not some guy who, we've seen in D roles and then C roles and then B roles and now finally A roles, right? Like we've only seen this kid star in shit. We saw him as Willy Wonka, Bruce Springsteen, right? That's who it was that he played. Bruce Springsteen? No, who he played?
The guy from The Bear played Bruce Springsteen.
He played Bob. What's the music star he
Oh,
played?
Bob Dylan.
Thank you. He played Bob Dylan. He's the star of the Dune series. He's Marty Supreme. We've seen this man only be lead roles.
He's
So if
Kylie
you
Jenner's
call him,
boyfriend.
he what?
He's Kylie Jenner's boyfriend. He's
I
starring in
didn't
that
even know
role
that.
too.
I didn't know that either. That was cute. That was cute. Um, This guy is a movie star. So if you're asking someone of that caliber to quote unquote not let this thing die, if that's the way it's being pitched to him, I could see him. I could see anybody of that pay grade being like opera and ballet. No, I'm not doing that. If when Will Smith was the highest paid actor at the box office, if you went to Will Smith at that time and was like, "Yo, we need you to help with ballet and opera," I could see Will Smith at that time being like, "Hell no."
I think I think the criticism is less about whether he wants to participate in it or not, and more about the fact that he said people don't care about it. I think
Yeah, I
that's
know, and that's
where
why
the
I said I
criticism is
started with
coming
saying,
from.
"Who cares about that part?" To me, is nothing.
I Yeah, I hear you. Uh, But that's where it's coming from, and honestly, people are now questioning if this is going to affect his. Would this affect an Oscar win for him?
It could, because those people go to the opera and the ballet,
They absolutely do.
and
So,
those folks, they care about the opera and the ballet.
and
And people
yeah,
do.
and
Like, let me. Maybe I should have started. Maybe I should have started instead of "who cares," but maybe I should be more factual. He's wrong, is what I probably should have said. Plenty
sure,
of people
yeah,
care, which you said already. I didn't even bother to respond to, because
hmm,
you're right. I should have said you're right first. You are correct, Dash. Plenty of people care about the opera and the ballet. Timothy is wrong.
I mean, he had Misty Copeland respond.
I mean, listen, when you speak about
Prima
things that
ballerina, okay. She
when
said,
you speak
"Excuse me, I have something to say." I don't have that
right,
here, but she
yeah, I
did.
mean,
I
when
know
you
that she did respond. You
right,
had the Metropolitan Opera share a TikTok video celebrating its backstage crew with the caption, "This one's for you," and they at him.
as they
Uh,
should.
they they said the Seattle Opera. This is all according to People magazine, or all according to People. Seattle Opera took a more tongue-in-cheek approach on Instagram. The company offered 14% off select seats for Carmen using the code Timothy,
Love it.
um, and then said, "Timmy, you're welcome to use it too."
That's right.
Doja Cat had a lot to say. Doja Cat said, "Hey, by the way, opera is 400 years old. Ballet is 500 years old. Somebody named somebody named Timothée Chalamet had the nerve. Big guy, by the way, had the nerve to say on camera that nobody cares about it." Continued, "I'm sure you can walk into an opera theater right now. Seats will be filled out, and nobody's saying a word as the performance is going because everybody has that much respect for it. People give a fuck. You show up in a nice outfit, you sit the fuck down, you shut the fuck up. That's the usual etiquette around those things. Maybe learn something from that," she continued. Even the principal of LaGuardia had to say something because, surprise, surprise, young Marty and young Timothy, excuse me, went to LaGuardia High School. You want to know what they said, or or you want to skip that?
Sure, why not? We're here now.
"We are so incredibly proud of our own Timothée Chalamet. We cheer for him loudly and with great love, and it is because of that love I feel compelled to respond to his recent comments about opera and ballet. At LaGuardia, we do not rank art forms. Timothy, you come from this world. We know your heart and we know you know better. To every student here studying opera, ballet, or any art the world may tell them no one cares about, we see you. Keep going." I think if he was being asked about that, I believe it's a guy, that was the right way to handle that. Now, as far as everybody else goes, you know, is what it is. But he,
But what do you think about his statement?
I think that I think that sometimes Hollywood artists are elitists, and I
Yeah.
think that this was an indication of that. Um, I don't think that you have to put down other art forms in order to speak about your own.
Hmm.
I think that you could totally, they can totally coexist. And whatever
Yeah.
is happening with ballet and opera can happen with ballet and opera. I think the conversation, I think he was on the right track having a conversation about the film industry and movie going because he makes movies.
Hmm.
So that makes sense to me. But the moment he brought opera and ballet into it, and I'm pretty sure the article says earlier in the article, it notes that he comes from like three generations of New York City ballet people. Like his
Uh,
family. His
So he probably
family.
has a resentment for it.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is a little
He's
deeper than
probably tired
any
of
of us.
leotards. You know what I'm saying?
Because apparently women in his family have joined the New York City Ballet in previous years. So it's odd that he doesn't have a bigger level of respect. And maybe I listen, what I do want to say is watching the clip, and I thought it was important to watch the clip. I think it was
mhm.
offhanded. I think he wasn't thinking like I don't that was a not a media trained moment.
He's
That
just
was
on
just
camera
him.
kicking.
Yeah, that was just him off the cuff, just talking, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes when that happens, it don't come out right.
Yeah, because he's not reading from the script.
Right. So I'm willing to say that maybe he didn't mean it so aggressive as maybe it came across. I think, and by aggressive I mean just the statement, not necessarily his tone or whatever. I think his tone was light. I think he was having a funny moment, and then I think he realized immediately when he said the thing. But he kind of joked on that too, where he said, "Oh, he just missed out on 14 cents." I think he knew what he had done after he did it, and then he kind of like tried to make light of it.
Yeah.
So
In true Marty Supreme fashion.
yeah, but he's not, and that's where the problem lies, right? If Marty said it, that's one thing. If Timothee Chalamet says it, it's another thing. He's a huge, huge star. I think too, this just speaks to the fact that sometimes I don't think people are used to holding someone like this to the fire for
Hmm.
something like this.
Hmm.
I think a guy like him probably doesn't get a whole lot of pushback when he says things. He probably is that guy, the funny guy that just says things offhanded and whatever. He's a huge, huge star. He's in an Oscar nominated film, and this is not the first film that he's been in that has been nominated for awards. He is at the peak of his career, and there is a certain privilege that he has that
Hmm.
he probably wasn't expecting anyone to think much of this. And
Hmm.
he probably thought because he thinks so little of the ballet and the opera that no one would really care what he said. The reality
Yeah.
of it is, like you said, the people who are voting on those films,
Hmm.
people who are into the arts and into film, some of those people are also into ballet and opera, or just because of how the uniqueness of those things. I think that people want to attend, people want to be a part of that, and a lot of people do. A lot of people are. So I don't know. I just feel like he didn't expect the backlash that he got, and I don't think he thought of it as largely as so many people did. But maybe that's the problem. So I don't know. I It's not the worst thing he could have ever said. There are far worse things that I would, go to the mountaintops and defend. Um, I do think that you can be respectful, though. I think that's just it's just like a you could have been nicer about what you were saying. You didn't have to throw anybody else or anything else under the bus to talk about your thing. That's my only issue with it. And I just think that in life in general, you don't, I say it all the time, like every conversation we have doesn't have to be a competition between two things. That's just my thought. That's what I think. But he said it.
Yeah, I just think people are overreacting.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to get as much
It's not the same.
attention when I saw it. I was like, oh, okay. But then I started reading articles when I was looking it up today, and I'm like, wow, they're saying, should he get an Oscar? And I'm like, you gonna take away his Oscar for that?
Yes, they would.
I mean,
Yes, they would.